What is up, everybody? Chris, the old-ass retro gamer here. Welcome to another live stream about my recent pickups, this time from March 2021. It's already March 2021. Can't believe it. This year is already going by super freaking fast. How's everybody doing tonight? Is everything sounding okay? I try to do something a little bit different tonight with the setup. So, is the audio good? Can y'all hear me? Let's see. Got the chat up. This month is going to be a little heavy on the movies. Didn't buy a whole lot of video games. I mean, don't get me wrong. I got some games here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But because this upcoming weekend on Saturday, Captain Algebra is coming down from Wisconsin, and the two of us are going game hunting throughout Chicago. So I didn't want to drop a whole lot of money on games because I usually end up finding some pretty cool stuff when I'm out with this guy. So I didn't want to blow my wad too early, if you know what I'm saying. All right, Nintendo's here. It's a party, officially. Want to let everybody know I am actually me tonight. Apparently last night in one of Captain Algebra's streams, someone tried to copy me or pretend to be me in the chat and started saying some stupid shit. It was not me. I was watching The Good Place, which is apparently not where the person impersonating me was from. So they can sit and spin. So I'm actually me tonight. All my parts are here. My brain and everything is working. So shall we get into it? I'm going to start off with the films first. Yeah, Kenna missed me. I'm sure she did. Me ragging on her all night. Sub-Zero! Now playing Zero! Come on! Do now. Open up the door to the bomb in there. All right, so like I said, it's going to be very movie-heavy tonight, but there are games. So I'm going to do it in order of type. So I'm going to start off with the TV shows that I got on a Blu-ray, and it's only one thing. I actually found this at Half Price Books. I talked about it in the original movie live streams or film live streams that I was doing, that I only had the first season of this. And then I went to Half Price Books and they had all 3 seasons in one pack. So I couldn't pass up the complete series of Hannibal. Based on, this is actually a prequel to Red Dragon, which is the first book in those Hannibal Lecter books written by, what was that guy's name? I can't remember the author. Thomas Harris. And I watched the first, I want to say 3 episodes of it when it was being broadcast, and I thought it was pretty good, pretty ballsy for a TV show that was on at like 8 o'clock at night on weekdays. It was pretty graphic, pretty adult, but I just never kept watching it for some reason. I usually never can keep up with shows when they're actually being broadcast. I prefer to like watch them when it's all done in a row, like binge it, like on Netflix or whatever. So now I can. Got all 3 seasons in one pack. Happy. So now let's just get into the straight up Blu-rays. I upgraded this. I actually had one of the documentaries in this 2-pack. I went looking for the other movie on Blu-ray, didn't find it, but I found this 2-pack with the other one. And what I was looking for was Never Sleep Again, the Elm Street Legacy, which is a documentary all about the Nightmare on Elm Street film, starting with the original and ending with Freddy versus Jason. They do not talk about the remake, which I thought was very strange. It was out at the time that this was made, as far as I can remember. When did it come out? It doesn't say. I do believe this came out after the prequel, or sorry, the remake, whatever. But I already did own Crystal Lake Memories, the complete history of Friday the 13th. That documentary is super long. It is 400 minutes. It's like 6 hours, 6.5 hours. I watched the Never Sleep Again documentary over the weekend. I watched it like in the morning. It took like 4 hours or whatever. They're both very entertaining, very informative, especially if you're a fan of the movies and that these talk about. I'm a huge fan of the Nightmare on Elm Street series, so having the actors talk about working on the movies and how fun they were to work on, how hard they were to work on, the shit that went wrong, the shit that went well. It's pretty interesting. So yeah, really happy to have that. Picked this up on Amazon. I didn't realize that it had like this limited print, but whatever. I guess Paramount is kind of doing the limited run of their back catalog stuff now. So I picked up a copy of The Golden Child. Eddie Murphy movie from, what is it, 86? Never saw this until it came to home video. Thought it was pretty cool, but I ended up watching it a ton on cable. It was always on. 400 minutes. Yeah, it's pretty long. I remember when I first got the Crystal Lake Memories documentary, the standalone copy that I had. I remember I came home from work, put it on when I came home from work, and when it ended, it was time to go to bed. That's how long it was. But it's really good. It's really interesting. But like I said, especially if you're a fan. But yeah, I saw this on cable all the time when I was a kid. It's like a supernatural action comedy from Eddie Murphy where he plays this person who hunts for lost children, like missing kids, gets caught up with a bunch of demons who are trying to kill a Buddhist child, like a monk, a little kid who's a monk, who is supposed to bring like light to the world. And these demons are trying to kill him so they can bring darkness everywhere, I guess. And it's really graphic, but it is really funny. What's up, Ninja Gamer? You've never heard of this? It was on all the time. It is really, really cool. They even have like the original poster in here. If you like open up the front cover, which I've never seen before on one of these, but yeah, it's a really entertaining movie. Not his best, I will say, but it is entertaining. There was a sale on the Twilight Time website, and I don't usually buy stuff from them anymore because it's mostly like art house and like movies from like foreign films from like the 60s and 70s and stuff that I'm not really interested in. But I got an email from them saying, hey, we're having like a clearance sale. Come and check it out. So I did, and I found 2 movies. One of them I'll talk about later because it's a 3D title. Sounds like Unbreakable. No, it's like he looks for lost children. Some people come to Eddie Murphy and say, hey, there's this kid we need you to find. Turns out he's like this magical child. And then Eddie Murphy finds out that there's like demons in the world and there's like snake women and all this other kind of crazy crap. And he has to go and find this sacred dagger that can kill the bad guy and all that. It does have comedy. It does have a lot of gore, but it wasn't like a big hit for Eddie Murphy. It was like, I guess it was like when he was starting on his downslope in like the mid to late 80s. But yeah, this one movie caught my eye. I haven't seen it since the theater, and that is Rapid Fire. It's a Brandon Lee movie. The first movie I ever remember seeing Brandon Lee in. I saw this in the theater because I was really excited. I was like, holy shit, Bruce Lee's kid is making movies now. This should be awesome because Bruce Lee was awesome. So why not? And I remember being okay. It's like a martial arts action movie. I don't even remember what the plot is, but I just remembered enjoying it. Mafia drug distributor is recruited by a police lieutenant. Oh, he goes undercover to bust some drug runners. Whatever. Like I said, I don't remember it very well. I just remember it being pretty entertaining. But Brandon Lee, he was cool. Sacred Dagger, like Cloak and Dagger? No, not like Cloak and Dagger. No. I also picked this piece of flaming shit up. What is it? Not Twilight Time. This is from Vinegar Syndrome. Picked up Lost Highway from them. I can't remember. I bought another movie from these guys. Oh, the Beastmaster. They did that 4K set of the Beastmaster. They were doing a clearance sale. They sent me an email also saying, hey, check out our stuff. You've bought from us before. Check out what's in our sale. I have the other movie that's sort of related to this on Blu-ray, so I felt that I needed to get this, but it's called Witch Trap. It's like a spin-off of Witchboard, which was the movie about the Ouija board that some girl uses and like a evil ghost possesses her or tries to possess her. This is made by the same guy who made Witchboard, but it's not about a Ouija board. It's about a bunch of like psychics and like ghost hunters who go to exorcise a house that's reportedly possessed, but the guy who's possessing it, the evil guy, looks exactly like the villain from Witchboard, it's weird that they even say it's not a sequel, but it in a couple of ways, because a lot of actors are shared from Witchboard in this also. It's weird that like it shares a lot of common things, but it's not related. It's just weird the way it worked. And like they start getting picked off one by one by the ghost, and it's a real cheap piece of crap compared to Witchboard. Witchboard is so much more polished than this, and this came out like a year or two after Witchboard. But the one thing that everyone knows from this movie is that the Scream Queen, Linnea Quigley, who was in like Night of the Creeps, also directed by the same guy who did this, Kevin Tenney. She was in Return of the Living Dead. She was the punk girl with the red hair who danced naked in the graveyard during the rainstorm. She is, I think she's a photographer or a videographer that's there to record things. And while she's taking a shower, the shower head comes to life and stabs her in the throat. Put this over here. I remember the music being pretty cool, but I remember the movie being a piece of crap. But as it was dirt cheap and I like Witchboard, I kind of thought I had to have its like little sister film, but it's not good. Scream Factory, you guys know that I love the Scream Factory. They released just a week or two ago a special collector's edition of Event Horizon, which is one of my favorite Paul Anderson movies, the guy who directed the original Mortal Kombat movie. He did this right after Mortal Kombat. So it's a science fiction horror movie. A lot of people weren't doing those back in the day. And this one's pretty awesome. I think it's actually better now than it was back then. So a bunch of, I think it's like they're a rescue crew. Lawrence Fishburne and Kathleen Quinlan, Jack Noseworthy, Jolie Richardson. Who else? But Sam Neill is this guy who built this giant ship that can actually kind of do like warp drive, but it opens up a wormhole and travels through the wormhole to someplace super far away, and it happens like in a blink of an eye. Zero drive, I think they called it. 0 point drive. And what it ended up doing was opening up a portal into hell. The ship goes into hell. Everyone on board goes crazy, kills each other, rapes each other to death. And then the ship comes back and it's kind of like possessed by some sort of evil entity. And then when the rescue crew, that's like a tongue twister. When the rescue crew shows up, the ship starts messing with them and like playing on all their fears and their sins and all that kind of stuff. And it's really, really well made. It's like The Shining in outer space. There's even a scene where a room fills up with blood. So I love it. I think it's great. I watched it when it showed up, watched a lot of the new extras on here. There's a lot of old extras from the old DVD edition, but I think it still holds up. The reason everyone was really excited about this one coming out was Scream Factory announced that they were going to attempt to put together an extended cut of this because this was one of those movies that famously had a lot of trouble with the MPAA. It got slapped with an X rating when they first turned it in for violent content, and they had to make all these cuts. And the movie was cut down from like 2 hours and 10 minutes to like 90 minutes. And they were trying to piece together all the footage. They went all over the place looking for the footage. Turns out that if you listen to the documentary or the commentary track on this, Paul Anderson was saying that this movie was released on home video. It was released on DVD originally. It was one of the earlier DVD movies. Back when the DVD of this came out, there really wasn't all the crazy extras and like extended cuts that they started doing later on in the DVD lifespan. So there really was no incentive for them to keep the footage that they cut out. So it was probably just destroyed, and that's why no one can find any of the footage. So there's no chance of there being a director's cut of this. But also it is said that less is more, and the stuff that is shown of the cut footage, like the little flashes that you do get of it, work better than if you were to just watch a whole scene of people ripping each other apart and, you know, getting banged in the butt until they die kind of stuff, and like people getting, you know, eviscerated and everything. They said it would probably make the movie have less of an impact if it was shown that way. So I'm kind of glad they didn't find it. One of the few movies where I'm glad they didn't make a director's cut. So I'm super happy to have that. And the transfer, they did a transfer from a 4K master, and it looks great. It looks fantastic. The 3D Blu-ray, one 3D Blu-ray, it was the same. I bought it at the same time I bought Rapid Fire. I did not realize this movie was in 3D, but it was dirt cheap. It was like $7, so I said, why the hell not? So I got a copy of Harlock Space Pirate 3D, which is an adaptation, like a CGI. It's a cartoon, but it's a CGI cartoon, a really like well-made, expensive-looking CGI cartoon movie. Based on Captain Harlock, I think was the name of the anime that was really popular in the 80s and 90s. And I remember seeing parts of this on TV, on Netflix or something, or it was streaming somewhere, and I saw parts of it. But I had no clue that it was made in 3D. So when I saw this, I was like, hell to the yeah! So I can't wait to check it out. The original Japanese version is on disc 1, and the international cut is on disc 2, and both are in 3D and 2D. Is Reboot. I haven't watched Reboot. That is so... Oh, man, all those chunky CGI, man. It's almost like watching Beast Wars. So, last pickup stream from February, I was talking about how I had ordered a bunch of stuff from Full Moon Features. Full Moon is... I'll talk about it again. Full Moon is, or was, still is, a company that started off as Empire Pictures in the 80s. They made Reanimator, From Beyond, Dungeon Master, Eliminators, Arena, Ghoulies. And when they ran out of money, Robot Jocks, that was their other big one. They ended up going bankrupt, but Charles Band, who owned the company, ended up reforming as Full Moon, I think it was Full Moon Pictures, or Full Moon Entertainment, and made it a direct-to-video company. He started making these super low-budget movies that were going direct-to-video, and they were super popular in the early 90s to at least with me, until like the mid to late 90s. I stopped watching them after a while. They're still around making. They made the Evil Bong movies and the Ginger Dead Man and all that. Well, every Valentine's Day, I guess, that they have a big, huge clearance sale on their website. I've got the hiccups all of a sudden. I think it's Full Moon Features now. And I have not taken part of any of these sales. I did not know about it. I think it was Mosley of Drunken Master Studios that posted something about it. And I was like, oh, I got to go check that out. So I went, and there was such dirt cheap stuff, like Blu-rays for like $6 or $7. And I was like, yes, give them all to me. I even bought a gigantic set of stuff. So this was like early mid-February that this happened, because I bought it before Valentine's. I bought all this stuff before Valentine's Day. It didn't show up until like a week and a half ago. Apparently, it was the biggest sale they've ever had. They couldn't keep up with the orders, and they just couldn't get the stuff out. So I basically was waiting for a month for this stuff, and I sent them emails. I never got responses to any of the emails asking where my shit was. Finally, just showed up randomly. I was like, oh, at least I got it. One of the things I ordered, didn't get it through the sale, but it is a Full Moon thing. I got this off of eBay. It's a 3-pack. Remember last month I had the 3-pack of the Trancers films, a 3-pack of the Dollman movies. It was Dollman, Demonic Toys, and Dollman versus Demonic Toys. I picked up the triple pack of Subspecies films. There's actually 4 movies in this franchise, but for some reason they only decided to release 3 of them on Blu-ray, which is weird. They have the 4th movie there, but you can only get it on DVD and not Blu-ray. So I was like, I'm not buying Blu-ray or DVDs unless I absolutely have no choice. But the Subspecies movies is a really dirt cheap take on like vampire lore, but sometimes having no budget makes you do creative things, and these are really entertaining. At least the first 3 are. I don't really remember the 4th one all that much. I've only seen it the one time, but they are really good. 2 and 3 were shot at the same time and were split in half and released separately. But these are really fun, really creative at times horror movies that I didn't think were going to be any good. I mean, even the title is kind of misleading. It doesn't speak vampire to me. But it's pretty cool, and I absolutely love the first 3. So I had to get that. So yeah, this has Subspecies, Bloodstone, Subspecies 2, and Bloodlust, Subspecies 3. Then there's Bloodstorm, Subspecies 4, and now there's another one called like Blood Fury or something, Part 5 that they're trying to make now. But the ones that I did get directly from Full Moon are Vampire Journals, which is a spin-off of those Subspecies films. It's just about a bunch of separate vampires. They do bring up the main vampire from those films, Radu. They do bring him up in here. They do bring up his brother, Stefan, from the first movie. And then in part 4, it's a crossover movie between the characters in Subspecies and the characters in this. So I felt I needed to have this just because. If they actually had a Blu-ray of part 4, I would have bought that as well. But this one's not that great. I just remember I've only seen it the one time when I first rented it back in the day. And I remember being kind of slow and kind of boring, and I thought I was missing information, which made me think that I needed to go back and rewatch all the blood species or the Subspecies movies to understand this. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do like a little film festival while I'm on vacation next week. Watch all 3 Subspecies movies, watch this, and maybe stream part 4 somewhere if I can find it. Also picked up Dark Angel, The Ascent from them, and I remember renting this back in the day. It has Angela Featherstone in it. You've probably seen her in 500 movies. She was in The Wedding Singer. She was Adam Sandler's girlfriend, the one that the little kid goes, Auntie, what's it called? You're a bitch. That's her. She plays a demon from hell who gets really curious about what life on Earth is like. So she decides to like tuck away her wings and hide her horns and go up to Earth and find out what love's all about. And it's really interesting for a super low budget movie. It's shot very well. It's very artistic and well written and not so well acted. But I mean, for a super low budget film, it is really impressive in a lot of ways. It doesn't feel like it's a super low budget movie. And it's really interesting. There's a lot of really cool things going on here, a lot of really cool ideas. So it's kind of like The Little Mermaid, I guess, in a little way. I want to die. What are you talking about? Somebody kill me, please? What are you talking about, Peter? Something going on? You want to talk about something? And the last separate movie that I bought from them is Blade: The Iron Cross. This is actually pretty new. I think this is within the last year. It's a spin-off of the Puppet Master movies. Puppet Master is like the bread and butter of Full Moon. That is their big property. It was the first movie that they released on home video when they became Full Moon Entertainment. And they're still making them to this day. There's 10 movies in that series. 11 if you count this. So, and 12 if you count something else that I'm going to show off later on. Oh, Wedding Singer. I haven't seen Wedding Singer in so long. That's the only thing I remember from that movie is, yo, bitch. But yeah, this one's all about one of the puppets, Blade, who's like the big puppet from those movies, the one that everybody likes, even though he's a son of a bitch. And, you know, he has like a skull face with little knives come out of his eyes. He has one of his arms is a knife, and one of his hands is a knife. The other hand is a hook. And he just kills people without giving a shit because he's a puppet. He's like the honey badger. Honey badger don't give a fuck. So yeah, Blade: The Iron Cross. I still haven't seen it. Like I said, it's pretty much a brand new movie, and I have not seen very many of their newer movies. But the big thing that I got from them through that Valentine's Day sale is this. This normally goes for like $100 some bucks, and it was like, I think 55-60% off or something. So you guys can do the math. I bought this gigantic 12 Blu-ray collection of all the Puppet Master films, and you can see Blade right there with the hat. So what comes in this? Well, look right there. You got Puppet Master 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And once you get past 5, they drop severely in quality. 4 and 5, just kind of like 2 and 3 of Subspecies, and 4 and 5 of Trancers were all filmed like back to back. So they like made like a 3-hour movie and like cut it in half, more like a 2.5-hour movie and then cut it in half. Linda, not Vicky. I don't remember. It's been so long. But once 5 came and went, they just started making these movies for $2.50. You know, tree fitty. So you got Curse of the Puppet Master, which I do believe has one of the actors from The Room in it. I think it was he made it before he made The Room. I can't remember. It's, what's his name? The lead character's best friend that like cheats on or sleeps with his wife. Curse of the Puppet Master is a huge, horrible piece of shit. I watched it once when it came out. I was really excited. I'm like, oh, maybe they're doing like a reboot thing. Are they trying to take this in a different direction? No, it's just garbage. And then they did Retro Puppet Master, which is equally a piece of garbage. And that's where I said, you know what? I think I'm kind of done with this series. And I hadn't watched any since. Then they made this one called Puppet Master: The Legacy, which I know absolutely nothing about. From what I understand, it sounds like it's like the final episode of Seinfeld, where it's just like a recap of every movie that came before it. It's just footage you reused from all the other movies. So that might not be worth watching. But then they decided, I want to say maybe 10 years ago, to start doing these prequel movies about because the first movie starts off in Nazi Germany during World War II. And the guy who created the puppets, Toulon, was trying to, well, they kind of retconned his storyline that he made them to bring his friends back to life who had died because of the Nazis. And the only way he can bring them back to life was in the form of these puppets. In the third movie, Toulon, it takes place during World War II. Toulon was using the puppets to take out Nazis that he didn't like. So they decided to go back to the well and make this trilogy of like Nazi Germany, World War II Puppet Master movies. So the first one is Puppet Master: Axis of Evil, which I have not seen. They followed that up with Puppet Master: Axis Rising, which I have seen. And I rented it out of the blue because they had the DVD over at the Redbox at the Walgreens that I live right by. And I was like, I haven't seen one of these in decades, so let's check this one out. And it still is a horrible piece of shit. You can tell the whole movie was shot in one building that they just like cordoned off into little rooms. Like the bricks are the same on the walls in every shot. It's the exact same building. It's crazy. It's so cheap. But there a bunch of Nazis are trying to recreate Toulon's ability to bring back the people into the puppet form. They're trying to use them as weapons on the front lines, which is really stupid. So there's this really busty Nazi chick who seduces the old-ass man who's probably like 80 years old. She seduces him to try to get him to hasten his research into figuring out how to transfer someone's consciousness into a puppet. And then when she fails, her big boss kills her. And then because he feels so guilty for it happening, the scientist decides to have her be the first person he transfers into a doll when he figures it out. And when the puppet shows up, it looks just like her in puppet form. You know, we're talking like a foot tall, right? And she's got these massive knockers. And the actress had a giant chest too, but the puppet has giant knockers. And knowing the way these movies go, what's up, Cap? Whoop, whoop. I'm the real deal tonight, man. No doppelgangers tonight. So when her puppet form shows up, I said to myself out loud, please tell me her boobs do something. And then I want to say 5 seconds after I said that, the puppet's brassiere drops, and where her nipples should be are gun barrels, and they kill people. And I was like, this is the best movie I've ever seen. And it was glorious. And then they made another sequel to that called Puppet Master Axis Termination, which I have not seen. And then there's another disc in here called Arcana of the Puppet Master, which I don't know what that is, but it's like in a tiny little DVD case or a Blu-ray case. I don't know what it is, but super thrilled to get this as cheap as I did. I could not believe that they were selling this as cheap. And from what I understand, Full Moon has a streaming service like Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatever. And if you sign up for the service for a year, which I think is like $25-$30 or something, you get this set for free as a gift. What? Are they just giving these away? Whatevs. I don't mind. 12 freaking Blu-ray collection. Damn. So let's get into the 4Ks that I got. So when I hit up the local half-price books, Cap, we're going to have to skip the half-price books, man, because when I went, they got absolutely nothing there. But I did find this, and it's not that I think it's a great movie or anything. I bought it because of cancel culture. You want me to explain that? Okay, so I bought a copy of the 40th anniversary edition of Grease. I'm not a fan of musicals, like at all. I like maybe 4 musicals total. This one's one of them because I love the songs are catchy and Olivia Newton-John is hot as hell. And it's kind of got a weird, perverse sense of humor, which I enjoy. But I remember reading maybe a month or two ago that the scene in the drive-in where John Travolta takes Olivia Newton-John so he could like hit on her is considered kind of uncomfortable, kind of rapey, I guess. So people were calling on this movie to get recut or just not made available for people anymore because of that. Grease 2 is horrible. Yeah, the exchange has everything that's worthwhile. And that video game's then and now. But I'm going to take you to a new place instead of the half-price books. I think you might thank me. I found another place. So I wanted to get this before cuts were made, and they might release like some censored, edited version, you know, whatever. So I just wanted to have this on hand so I can have an uncut version of it. Not that I think it's a great movie or anything. It's really kind of, but whatever. But when it comes to those Puppet Master movies, someone decided to not purchase the rights, but like rent the rights to the name Puppet Master and the characters in it and make like a higher budget version of one of the movies, like their own Puppet Master movie. And that is Puppet Master, The Littlest Reich. This is kind of like a mid-range budget version of a Puppet Master movie that a bunch of people in Hollywood thought was a really good idea. I have not watched it yet. I got this off of Amazon for $7.50. 4K of it, $7.50, and it was brand new. It has some pretty decent stars in it, like Thomas Lennon, who was on Reno 911, and Barbara Crampton, who's like in every low-budget movie out there. Udo Kier. Let me see if I recognize any other names. Charlene Yi, who's big in China. Michael Pare. Yeah, I mean, it had a pretty decent budget. They kind of redesigned Blade a little bit on the cover, but I have to watch this. I'm probably going to watch this weekend, but from the producers of The Meg and Bone Tomahawk. They made a Puppet Master movie of their own. So strange, I had to have it. And if you look, I mean, they actually have some of the puppets, like upgraded big budget versions of them on the back here, which is kind of interesting. Worst movie I've ever seen? That's easy. Battlefield Earth. Worst movie I've ever seen. Picked this up because why not? It was actually pretty cheap the day it came out, the day this was released, which was about a month ago. I'm not going to pass it up when it was like already half price. That's Monster Hunter. Just came out in December in theaters. Didn't get a chance to see it until February, the beginning of February. And then like 3 weeks after I paid to see it in the theater, it's out on home video already. I was like, son of a bitch. But this is Paul Anderson, the guy who directed the first Mortal Kombat and 4 of the 6 Resident Evil movies. This is his attempt to make another video game franchise of films, or franchise of video game films. I don't think it's going to happen. But you can tell he really wants it to be, but it stars his wife, Mila Jovovich, and I've never played a Monster Hunter game, nor do I ever really want to, but from what I understand, they get a lot of stuff right, like the monster designs are very much what they look like in the game, the names, the way things work, the fighting, the weapons that people have in the movie are pretty spot on. Yeah, I guess there's even that cat that cooks is in the movie that I've seen like statues of. Jason from Corpse Flood Gaming told me that he got a picture with a statue of that cat when he went to E3 or whatever. The Meg, I love. The Meg is fun. I've read all the books in that series. There's like 6 books in the Meg series. I've read them all. The movie's really not anything like it. It just has characters from the book in it. But it's a lot of fun. The Meg is great. I enjoyed it a lot. It's a good, cheesy horror movie. But I wanted to see this not only because Mila Jovovich is pretty hot, and she's the exact same age I am. She was born the same year I was. Tony Jaa's in it, who is like one of my favorite martial arts stars. He's from Thailand, and he's great. If you ever seen Ong Bak, if you haven't seen Ong Bak, go and watch it right now. It is phenomenal. The stuff that he does in that movie, holy crap. He puts Jackie Chan to shame. But the movie's okay. I enjoyed it. Not really having any feelings for the game, so I couldn't say it did the movie or the game justice. It was entertaining. There's not a whole lot of talking in it. My problem with it is, I mean, the action's pretty awesome, I will say, and the special effects are great, but it's like the movie ends. It just ends in the middle of something. Like, big boss battle. All right, here we go, guys. We're going to go and take on the final boss, and end credits. No, they did not get married after Fifth Element. That was the guy that directed Fifth Element was French. That was Luc Besson. They did get married, by the way, her and Luc Besson, and then they made The Messenger. And after The Messenger failed, he blamed her for the failure. She said, fuck you, let's get divorced. And then she made the first Resident Evil with Paul Anderson. I guess they hit it off there. And then by the time the third movie came out, they had gotten married. So, yeah. Monster Hunter is fun. I don't know if I can't tell you if it's compared to the games, if it's any good or not. But as a movie, I think it's pretty entertaining. It's not great. It's nothing amazing, don't get me wrong. Upgraded my copy of Christine on Blu-ray. Got this from Target. This just showed up today, like 15 minutes before the stream started. This is one of my favorite John Carpenter films. This is the 35th anniversary edition. I don't really think it has a whole lot of... It has deleted scenes and a commentary track with John Carpenter and Keith Gordon, which is pretty awesome. But yeah, Christine, Stephen King novel turned into a movie by John Carpenter. It's pretty awesome. I like it a lot. Killer car goes around killing people that... torment the new owner of the car, who's like this geeky kid, and the car actually like has an effect on him too. Not only is it killing the people that are picking on him in school, but it starts to like he's like really geeky and nervous all the time and like withdrawn, and the car like gives him confidence and kind of makes him a schmuck, and then he ends up becoming like a homicidal person himself because of it, because as the car is obsessed with him, he's obsessed with the car. It's pretty fantastic. I like it a lot. It's a great little movie. They're probably going to remake it pretty soon because they've been remaking all the John Carpenter movies. Picked this up at Best Buy the other day when I went. They had a 4K Steelbook version of District 9, which I think is an awesome movie. Neil Blomkamp's first movie, probably his best movie too. This was made in the aftermath of the Halo movie not happening. Neil Blomkamp was hired. Well, he was hired to make Halo movies, and he did make Halo short films when Halo 3 was coming out. He directed those. There's like 3 little short films that came out that you only watch, I think, through Xbox Live. And he directed those, and I think that was his audition to get the job to make the real Halo movie. but they didn't make it because as the script came in, and I read parts of the script and I thought it would have been absolutely fantastic. They realized, or I think it was Universal realized how expensive the movie was going to be, and it was going to cost like $350 million, even maybe even more than that, to make it in the way the script was, and they couldn't agree on making any cuts, so they just canceled it. But Neil Blomkamp had already done pre-production on the movie and had all the weapons made. He had the warthogs made. He had outfits made for the Horde, not the Horde. That's friggin' Gears of War. Not the Flood. The Covenant. He had like stuff made for that, but when Halo didn't happen, he just took a script that he had laying around, kind of doctored it up a little bit, and found ways to work all those things that he already created and spent money on for Halo and used it in District 9. So all the weapons in District 9, if you really look, they're just repainted Halo weapons, and they look just like Halo weapons. So, and there's even a warthog in it at one point, if you really look. So it's a fantastic movie. South Africa is ground zero for an alien landing, and one guy ends up starting to turn into one of the aliens and finds out what it's like to be on the other side. It's pretty interesting. A lot of human atrocity type things going on. It's kind of hard to watch at times, but I think it's a great science fiction movie. This is the other movie that I got with Christine that showed up like 15 minutes before the stream. Picked up the ultimate cut of The Watchmen. This has everything in it. It has the director's cut of the movie, the dawn of the, what was it? There's a cartoon. The Tales of the Black Freighter. So how long is this now? Where's the time code? Where are you? Ultimate cut is... Where are you? 215 minutes. That's long. Not as long as Justice League, the Zack Snyder cut of the Justice League. But I love The Watchmen. It's one of my favorite superhero movies. So I've always wanted to watch this like complete version. I had just the director's cut on Blu-ray, so I was able to upgrade this. So hells to the yeah. Movies that I have seen. Hey. And picked these up at Target. They had a sale where it was buy two, get one free. Did I already show off any of the other ones I got from them? No, I did not. Yes, I did. Watchmen and Christine are parts of this too. Okay. So they had a buy two, get one free sale. It applied to movies and video games. I did get some video games, and everything else was movies. And so I picked up Watchmen and Christine through that sale. I also picked these up. I upgraded my copy of Justice League Throne of Atlantis to a 4K version of it, because this one is pretty fantastic. Mostly about Aquaman. And I think this came out not too long after the Aquaman live-action movie came out to kind of capitalize on it. But it's a pretty awesome Justice League movie, and this is like a commemorative edition, so this has a lot of extras on it compared to the other one that I had. But this was probably my free movie that I got. But the one I was really excited about was this. Kind of fitting. Captain Algebra should love this too. Jason from Corpse Flood Gaming has played, as of today, has played every single Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game that has ever been made for a home console or handheld. For the Cartridge Club. Cartridge Club made it Turtles Month this month. I even played a Turtles game this month. I played Fall of the Foot Clan all the way through for the first time because of it. And everyone's gotten on the Turtle train. Captain Algebra's been playing Turtles games lately, so I figured I should probably buy Batman versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on 4K. And I cannot wait to watch this. I actually had a conversation with, I don't know if you guys follow this other YouTube channel called Black Nerd Comedy. Andre Meadows runs that channel, and he talks about all geeky stuff. He loves the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He loves the Smurfs, Gremlins, Power Rangers, all that kind of stuff. He talks about them a lot. And he also streams on Twitch. And I saw that he was streaming one night, and I went to check out what he was talking about, because it said just chatting as what he was doing. So I log on, and he was talking about the Turtles. And then someone had brought up like a DC movie to him, and he goes, "Oh, has anyone seen Batman versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?" And I chimed in. I was like, "No, but I want to. Have you seen the animated Batman, The Dark Knight Returns adaptation that they made that went direct to video?" And he's like, "No, but I want to see that one. It looks freaking awesome. He goes, but if you haven't seen the Turtles one, old ass retro gamer, check it out. And I was like, I just talked to Andre. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, so I picked it up, and I need to watch it. I hear it is actually pretty cool. The art style is a little weird. You can see it up there. But I can't wait to watch this. I'm definitely watching this weekend. And the last 4K, the last movie I have to talk about is another one of these DC movies, and it's a box set that I picked up. So I went to Half Price Books. This is before COVID. Went to Half Price Books. They used to have like the animated movies separately from every other movie. They had like an animated movie section, and they always had a ton of these DC animated direct-to-video movies. And I found steelbooks of The Death of Superman and Reign of the Superman, which is basically the Return of Superman, that they made separately, and they connected. They released them, I think, like almost a year apart on home video. And I was like, oh, cool, I can finally see these. And in steelbook, awesome, yes. And then I get home and I'm watching the first movie, and I was like, how long has this been out? Because I couldn't remember when it came out. So I'm looking it up on IMDb, and I find out that there's a set where they basically, what happened with the Dark Knight Returns set, they released those separately too, like a long time apart. And then afterwards they released like a cut where they put the two movies together in one seamless movie. Well, then I found out they did the exact same thing with these two movies that they had separated. And I was like, son of a bitch, I could have had both movies in one instead of having them both separately. So I said I'd put those movies aside for Jason, because Jason loves these movies and he's a steelbook slut, his words, until I can find the complete version, which I did find. And I found this big old box set of The Death and Return of Superman. And it comes with a steel action figure in there. So Jason was saying he wanted to see me buying more action figures for my streams, the way he always has a lot of action figures in his. I got one. Technically, I got one. So, yeah, pretty awesome. I loved the Death and Return of Superman storyline in comic book form, and I watched both movies, and they are pretty awesome, too. They change a couple of things, but I don't mind. It's all in the name of it working as a movie. What's up, TJ? Batman and the comic books. Yeah, Jason, Corpse Flood. When I was talking about over the weekend, we recorded a new episode of the Super Enabler Brothers podcast, and I showed that off as one of my pickups in the stream. And he goes, "Oh yeah, well check this out." He had Batman versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Volume 1, Volume 2, and I just ordered Part 3. I'm like, okay, whatever, cool. I didn't realize they were comics first. But now we're gonna get into the games. So last stream, I was talking about how I'd gotten my bonus from work, my yearly bonus from work at the beginning of February, and I wanted to use it to buy all of the Hokuto no Ken or Fist of the North Star games that were available in cartridge form that I didn't have in my collection. That's including all the Japanese games. And I had ordered a bunch of them at the beginning of February, and like half of them showed up by the end of the month. It took forever to get stuff to come over here from Japan. One of them was coming from California, and it still took a month because the idiot that I bought it from forgot to ship it because he's a dope, and I should have asked him for money back, but I'm nice like that. But the ones that I got to finish off my collection, I do now have every cartridge Fist of the North Star Hokuto no Ken game. I got the Famicom original game, which is the one that we got over here in the US on the NES. It's a terrible, terrible beat-em-up, platformer / beat-em-up. It's not good, but wanted to have it just because. And then there is the sequel, Hokuto no Ken Part 2. I don't think this has a subtitle at all. And it looks very similar to the first game. It's still another side-scrolling beat-em-up platformer. So I haven't played these yet, but I will. But the one that I really wanted was this, and this is for the Mega Drive, the only Mega Drive, official real Mega Drive game. It's not a reproduction of a Mega Drive game. But I got Hokuto no Ken for the Mega Drive. This was released in the US, and it was called Last Battle. It was a launch game for the Genesis. And the reason they called it Last Battle instead of Fist of the North Star was, one, they didn't want to have to pay the licensing fee, and two, because the game is very violent, and they didn't want to have exploding people and guts shooting all over the place, for a brand new console, like have it just be a gore fest. Because when you punch people in this game, their heads explode. Just like in the comic books, in the anime movie. Punch someone in the stomach and intestines shoot out their butthole. So really excited to get the uncut version of this game. And it's just a side-scrolling beat-em-up. If you've played Last Battle, you know what it's like. It's just now it's more violent. There's that. Last Battle's not bad, Cap. It's not bad. It's just it could be better. I'm hoping this is better. It's just a real simple game. It was a launch title. You know, it was nothing special back then. But the big one that I got for the Genesis, and this is the last retro game I have. The rest is like modern stuff. I got from my buddy Toysaurus Games on Instagram. He makes Last Battle. No, no one wants to see that. No. The stream will shut down if I do that. No, I just saved you from your eyes bleeding. You're welcome. Yeah, Toysaurus Games on Instagram. If you don't follow him on Instagram, do it. He makes these awesome repros, Genesis games and stuff. And he put this up for sale. I'm surprised he didn't message me because he knows how much I like this license. But when I sent him a message saying like, "Hey, I want one of those," he was like, "Yeah, I figured you would." But he did this repro. It's a hack of, I want to say, NHL 94 to work into the Tron franchise. So we got Tron Turbo Hockey. And what it did is they basically inverted the colors, so everything is black, but everyone is like glowing now. Kind of like if they were playing in a black light. And I had to have it. I mean, even the puck looks like a freaking identity disc. And they even said that it came from Encom on the back. So absolutely had to have this. And I think one of the cool things is the card is in this translucent. All right, take it easy, Nintendo. The cart is this translucent blue, just like the other Tron game I got from Toysaurus. And when you plug this in, there's LEDs in the cartridge, and they light up, so the whole room lights up blue when you play it. Awesome. I could not live without this. I had all the Tron things. Everything else is modern-y type stuff. Got this dirt cheap on Amazon. I'd never owned it. I own basically every other version of this game, so there's no reason why I wouldn't buy this. I'm surprised it took me so long to get this, because this was, I think, a launch game for the Xbox One, and that is the Halo Master Chief Collection. Has, what is it, Halo 1, 2, 3, and Reach on it, I do believe. All the ones made by Bungie. And it also has Halo Nightfall, an all-new live-action digital series from executive producer Ridley Scott. Ooh. But yeah, I've been itching to play through the original Halo games, and it gives me an excuse to play my Xbox One some more. So, yes. Part of that sale, the two games that I got through the buy two, get one free sale on Target. The only two games I got, everything else I either already had or was something I'm not really interested in or was still too expensive even for the sale. I was just kind of like, meh. So I picked up a copy of Crash Bandicoot 4. It's about time. I should probably play through the other games in the series before I play through this. So this will be a while before I get into it, but I am excited. But the one I was really interested in is this. I saw the name when I was doing the search or looking through the games that they had available for the sale, because it wasn't like every game. It was like certain games are put into this or were available in the sale. And I looked this up and I was like, that sounds kind of interesting. This is a musical action adventure. Oh, I just farted. Yeah, it's a musical action adventure, and it has a really interesting art style. It just sounded like a lot of fun. It's called No Straight Roads. And it's like a run and gun, I want to say, but it's also a rhythm game at the same time. So I've said, why not? I'll try it out. It's this was released by someone. I thought this was released through Gearbox or something. No, I guess not. I can't remember. But I looked it up, and it looked really, really fun and interesting. So I was like, that looks pretty cool. I must have it. And I do. Then Square Enix had another huge discounted sale on their website. And I went to check out what they had available. I think I was kind of late to the party. I think I went there on the last day of the sale because I didn't really know about it, because I rarely... Nowadays, you have to like trick me into checking my email. I rarely ever check my home email ever. So I saw the email saying that there was like the last day for the sale, so I went to check it out. This was the only thing they had left that I didn't already own or would want to buy. And is the limited edition of Life is Strange Before the Storm. This is the prequel to the original Life is Strange, not made by the same people who actually made the second game. Yeah, did you play it in VR though, Cap? That's the way to go. Thumper in VR. Woo! Woo-hoo! So not only do you get the game with every episode that was made for it, you get a soundtrack and a hardbound art book, which is kind of cool. It's kind of put together like a picture diary and stuff like that. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, it comes with the complete season of the game. Season 1 of the original Life is Strange, which I don't need because I already have the limited edition of that. A bonus episode, an outfit pack that you can download, a mixtape mode, probably that involves the music from the game, the art book, and the original soundtrack. So I got this for a whopping $10. Was not going to pass that up. Dude, in VR, dude, Thumper is the shit. Oh my god, it is so good. Yes, that Thumper, Peter. The one limited run game that I got this month is Doom 64. I actually downloaded, I didn't realize that this had come out. And I think this came out to coincide with the 2016 Doom, I want to say, or was it the new Doom? I don't remember. And Jason of Corpse Like Gaming was like, I just beat Doom 64 on my PS4. This is awesome. I was like, wait, what? When did that happen? So I actually, one of the few games I ever purchased on the PlayStation 4 or the PlayStation Store. But I would rather have it in physical form. So that's going bye-bye, and now I got this. Can't wait to finish it up. I'm actually pretty far in it. I play it every once in a while. I'll play like a couple of levels, and then I won't play it for another month or two, and then I'll go back and play a couple of levels. It's pretty awesome. Really good port of the Nintendo 64 version. And as you all know, I'm not a fan of the Nintendo 64 at all. This was one of the few games I enjoyed playing. So, and another, I think this is from Special Reserve, I think. Strictly Limited. I ordered this 3 or 4 months ago. I think I ordered this back in November or December. And then it finally showed up 2 weeks ago. And that is Guns, Gore, and Cannoli 2. This is actually a bigger box version, so you can actually fit the first game in here along with the second one, which I already own. I already own the first one, but it only came with Guns, Gore, and Cannoli 2. I really enjoyed the first one. It is a run-and-gun game like Contra, sort of, but if I remember correctly, the second thumbstick is how you aim. And you play as a 1930s gangster with a Tommy gun, and you're fighting zombies. It was a lot of fun. So I was really looking forward to playing the sequel. It has a 4-player online mode and a local 2-player co-op mode, which I never got to experience. And according to Church the Game Grinder, it's the preferred way to play. But how am I going to do that couch co-op mode in COVID times? It ain't happening, man. I will ban some people for talking about that controller. That is the worst controller ever. Picked up 2 Switch games. Should have had 3 to show, but one of them decided not to show up today. Now it's showing up tomorrow, so Amazon. Picked up Horizon Chase Turbo, Radical Reggie, and Metal Jesus, and Kinsey, and Kelsey, and John Riggs, all of the people from the Metal Jesus crew. Metal Jesus has been talking about this game for years, especially Radical Reggie. He was really trying to sell people on this when it first came out because he got a free copy of it from them to talk about on his channel. This is a throwback to Outrun, and I watched a lot of footage of it. I finally was like, what's the big deal with this freaking game? I never really looked it up back then when everyone was hyping it up, so I finally went and watched some footage of it, and I was just like, well, it actually looks pretty fun. I like Outrun. Why not? So yeah, this has all this downloadable content in it. The Rookie Pack, downloadable free content, 33 unlockable cars with several extra skins, 4 game modes, online rankings, 111 tracks, 49 cities, 12 countries, local multiplayer up to 4 people. When COVID's over, it might go down. Online ghost mode. Yeah, I love a good racing game, and this looks like a real fun throwback, so I had to have it. Oh God, drama with you guys. Why? Don't bring it into my stream. And I figured I should buy this because why not? I picked up the Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury combo pack. Bought it mostly for Bowser's Fury. So why not? I had a coupon at Best Buy, and when I went there and I found that District 9 4K, I picked this up. So I got this for like $10 off, and I was like, whatever. I love Super Mario 3D World. It's one of my favorite Mario games, if not maybe my second favorite Mario game. And I don't want to have to whip out my Wii U to play it. So I got my Switch all the time. I play my Switch a lot nowadays. So yeah, got Bowser's Fury and a new version of a game that I already love. So why not? Yeah, I'm still sick of Nintendo re-releasing all of these Wii U games because people didn't want to buy a Wii U. But I didn't buy it specifically for this. I bought it for this. And here is the new stuff. So, my Stimmy showed up. I've been saying that if my Stimmy shows up, when my Stimmy shows up, I'm buying a PS5 and an Xbox Series X. And I've been actively looking for the past week. Came close to getting one today through Dell of all places. One of the Twitter pages that I follow is like one of those. I follow like 5 of them where they give you updates if things become available. And today, around like 10:30 this morning, Dell had like a bundle up that was the disc version of the PS5 with those 3D headphones, and I was like, and I couldn't even get on the webpage. It just kept circling and saying loading. Deals are coming soon, loading. And when I finally got through, it says all of these deals have been taken. I was like, you can eat my ass. But I have been pre-gaming games. See what I did there? Because these I also got through that Target sale. So I bought these 3, got one of them for free, and I figured that was a pretty good deal. So for the Xbox Series X, this can also be played on the Xbox One, but I'm considering it a Series X game. I picked up Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So I now have every Assassin's Creed game there is right now. This was the only one that I needed, so don't know much about it. I've only played through the first game, and I want to play through them all, so we'll see how this happens. But everyone tells me this one's pretty awesome. What's up, Reggie? You see me talking about my PS5 games, man. Also picked up for the PS5, Godfall. There are 3 flippin' versions of this game available. There's like the standard version. There's like a collector's edition or something. And then there's like this ultimate collector's edition that has like all this extra crap you don't need and like a season pass and all. I don't need that crap. I just want to play the core game. So yeah, digital bonus loot included. Ooh, this is what I was thinking about when it came to that No Straight Roads game. This is the one by Gearbox. The only PS5 games they had up there for that buy 2 get 1 free sale were the 2 that I'm showing you today, and it was like all sports games and a couple of things that were ports or like PS5 versions of PS4 games. I was like, eh. So yeah, this is an exclusive for the PS5, so I picked it up. And the last game I got for you guys today is the PS5 version of Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate. I've been putting off. I had the original Mortal Kombat 11. I absolutely loved it. The story mode is fantastic. But then they usually, or NetherRealm will release extra characters in packs for a couple of years after the game comes out, which I normally don't buy. I usually play the core game, don't play it for a while. Once they release like the collected versions of everything that has all of the extra modes that they've added, all the extra characters, I usually buy that version, and that's the one I stick with from that point on. I pass on all them sports games, man. What they ended up doing was doing like 3 of these kinds of things. They released Aftermath, which had an extra story pack attached to it, which they've never done before. It actually like adds on like another 6 or 7 hours of story to the story that was in the original version of Mortal Kombat 11. And they brought back Cary Hiroyuki Tagawa, who played Shang Tsung in the 95 movie, to come back and play Shang Tsung again, which is freaking amazing. And I was like, okay, I'll get you eventually. And then, like, I want to say 3 months after Aftermath came out, they released like this ultimate version that has all of the extra characters they released after Aftermath in it, which is like what? RoboCop, Rain, Melina, Rambo, and the Terminator. on top of the ones that they had already released prior to that, which I don't remember what they are because I never bought any of them. It doesn't even say here. But 37 total fighters, 2 cinematic stories, which I want to play aftermath so I can finally see what the extra content was, which is fantastic. Here is fantastic. Everyone tells me it's great. And a bunch of new features and modes. So, hells to the yeah. Love Mortal Kombat. Had to have this. Now I just got to get a PS5. The struggle is real. I'm hoping on Friday I'll be able to get one. From what it sounds like, shit, you heard from me. Best Buy, I guess, for the last 4 weeks in a row, around noon on Fridays, they always have like a drop of PS5s. They get like a huge shipment of them, and they go out on Friday. So I'm hoping on Friday I can pick one up. Like I said, I almost got one today, but it looks like the one that's even harder to find is the frickin' Xbox. No one talks about the damn Series X at all. So I'll eventually get it. That's it. That's everything I've picked up in the month of March, everybody. So, whew, lots of movies, not a whole lot of games. Next month will be different because Captain Algebra and I, excuse me, God, I got the gas today. Woo! Captain Algebra and I are going game hunting through Chicago this Saturday. Shit is about to go down, especially when I take you to the news store, Cap. You're going to love it. So there will definitely be more games than movies in April's pickup stream. So thank you, everybody, for coming. I am hoping by the end of next week, since I'm on vacation all of next week, I will definitely have the movies that will make great video games Part 5 collaboration finished. I've been working on it slowly but steadily. It's taking forever. It's hard to edit 20 people other than yourself into a video. It's hard. It takes time, especially trying to get all the footage you need in the gameplay and all that. Chicago's definitely going to be out of retro games. Hells to the yeah. But it's coming along. I've been talking to the people whose parts I've finished. I've been sending them like screen caps of it to say, hey, I haven't forgot about you. You didn't do this for nothing. Here's what your part is going to look like. And I would just send them like a screen cap from my computer. And they're all like, oh, thank you. I thought that I wasted my time. I wouldn't do that to anybody. It takes me a while to get to the finish line, but I do get there eventually. So I'm hoping to have that out. I'm really, really hoping to have that out by the end of next week at least. I really am going to push for it. So, yes, keep an eye out for that. I will definitely do one of those premieres for it because it's going to be worth it. It's probably going to be 45 minutes long, but yep. So, like, once again, thank you, everybody, for coming. It's been great talking to everybody. I love doing these streams so I can chit-chat with people on talking about geeky crap. And I will see you next time, maybe next Friday if I have that video finished. Definitely at the end of April. So thanks, everybody. Have a great evening. Stay safe out there. Chris, the old-ass retro gamer, out.